I'm really happy that you guys are here, and I hope that you like what I have to share. So there's a lot of, maybe if you're following astrology posts or astrologers on Instagram, you'll see that there's a lot of talk about Venus retrograde, which is happening tomorrow. And so I think what happens with astrology is that, people kind of talk about it in using these words like retrograde or, some of these like technical terms, and people don't actually know what they mean. So my goal in doing astrology in general is to kind of just talk about it like a normal person and help people understand what these things could mean for them. So first, since it's my first one, I just want to thank you guys for following me, for being supportive of all my different endeavors. I feel really grateful to be able to give myself the freedom to explore astrology. It's something that I've always been interested in, something that I really love, and it's guided me my whole life. And I think that as astrology apps are becoming more popular, and certainly with social media, TikTok has been big, people are getting more curious about astrology and wanting to dig in a little bit deeper than just knowing what their sun signs are, like Virgo, Taurus, whatever. Basically, yeah. I mean, my goal is going to be to try to demystify some of that for people who aren't really deep into astrology, because it's kind of complicated. There's a lot to it. Okay, so Venus retrograde. Let me first start by explaining what a retrograde is. So all of the planets in our solar system, and you think back to, when you were in elementary school learning about the planets, all of the planets in our solar system are in motion around what they call in astrology the ecliptic. It's basically like this kind of oval shape that where all of the different zodiac signs are. So the constellations for all of our different zodiac signs are on this kind of like circular ecliptic. And the planets pass through each of those constellations at different times, at different speeds throughout the year. And so when a planet passes through one of those constellations, we say that the planet is in a sign, right? So for example, right now with Venus, it's passing through Capricorn, and because it's going retrograde, we say it's going retrograde in Capricorn. So what retrograde actually means is that as the planet is going along this motion around this sort of circular pattern, it seems to stop and sort of go backwards for a period of time, usually a couple of weeks. It doesn't actually go backwards, but from where we sit here on Earth, it looks as if it's going backwards. And so every planet goes retrograde, and then at some point for different amounts of time, and then they'll spend their time in the retrograde, and then they'll go back in their forward motion, what they call direct. So in terms of Venus going retrograde, this is going to start tomorrow. And by the way, Venus is the planetary ruler of Taurus and Libra. And I know for a fact that we have a Taurus and a Libra on the live right now. So this is really important for you. You might be able to, after listening to this, just be aware of some things that, you could be on the lookout for. And it'll be interesting to talk with you over the next couple of weeks to see if any of this sort of, resonated for you. So again, we hear a lot about Mercury retrograde, but we don't really hear about, and I know we have, so Cynthia's a Taurus and Christina's a Libra and Ellie's a Cancer, I believe. So we hear a lot about the Mercury retrograde. We don't hear about the others. With Venus retrograde, as with any retrograde, the main thing that you want to think about is the prefix re. So whenever you hear retrograde, regardless of whether it's Venus or Mercury or any other planet, you want to think about like rethinking, reevaluating, returns. Retrogrades oftentimes signify delays or reversals of circumstances, or it could be about rethinking something, or even some kind of transformation that can be underway. So if you think about this in terms of Venus, Venus is a planet that represents love, beauty, passion, creativity, relationships, loving relationships, like with your partner. So you might want to think about it in terms of the potential for delays or setbacks, or better yet, even, to keep it on the positive side, transformation in your loving relationship, or in terms of a creative project that you might be working on. And for you personally, for each person individually, we would look at your birth chart and see which house Venus is kind of hanging out in during the retrograde. They call it stationing, but it's basically where it's hanging out in your chart. So based on the house where it's hanging out, that particular area of your life could be or would likely be more affected by these particular themes. And so one added layer on top of that is the idea that that Venus is in Capricorn, right? So you also want to be thinking about Capricorn themes. And so what are Capricorn themes? Capricorns are very committed, very goal-oriented, responsible. Capricorns make stuff happen, and they're very grounded. So, if you start to see things pop out for you around this time, around, goals, it could be relationship goals, creative endeavors, or goals you might have around bringing beauty into your life, that could be something to kind of keep an eye on. Now, I know that most people don't know about their houses and where planets are in their houses, and that's something I can definitely look up for you. I can, work with you to figure that out. For me, I had a look at the transits this morning, and I see that Venus is transiting in my 4th house, which is the house of home and family. So, and if anybody here on the call is Libra rising, I don't know if any of you would know that, but if you have Libra rising, it will also, this retrograde for Venus will also be in your 4th house as well. So for me, that might tie into relationships with my family members, or, some projects that I'm doing around the apartment, right? Something that I'm trying to beautify my home. Maybe I'm planning to paint my apartment for the 10th time. So maybe there'll be some, transformation around that. But for each of us, the main idea is that for each of us, the Venus retrograde will have a unique meaning, that will be interesting to kind of dig into and think about. So, I would say for the next couple of weeks, I would just encourage you to be thinking about some of these themes. Definitely message me if, something comes up, or if you want more information, or if anything that I shared is not clear. I really love doing this, and I'm happy to share it with you guys, and I hope that it becomes something that can enhance your life as well. As I'm learning and going through this, I really want to share it with the people that I love, and the people that are following me, and build this community. And some of you, I don't know if everybody knows, but some of you may know that I'm working on a set of Oracle style cards that is going to be complementing the work that I'm doing. So I'm looking forward to sharing that in the new year. I'd love to hear about goals that you guys have for yourselves, what you're planning. So, please feel free to, again, message me. I'm going to learn how to get more adept with Instagram Live and try to figure out, if we can be a little bit more interactive, if people can also weigh in and talk about what's going on with them during these, because I think it would be interesting to hear people's perspectives as I'm talking. If not, there are going to be some other forums I could use. But all in all, yeah, I hope that this was helpful. I hope that you guys like it, and hopefully, a lot of people are joining now. I'm kind of wrapping up. Yes, I will definitely save it. And yeah, I would love your feedback, and hopefully this type of information is helpful. And yeah, I don't know exactly where to save. So Christina, if you want to just pop a message in the chat on what to click to make sure I can download it or save it, that would be awesome. And yeah, thank you guys for joining, and I'll see you soon on the next, maybe we'll call it the Astro Chat or something like that. The Soulspace Astro Chat.